Alright, YouTube, it is Thursday, so you know what that means. It is time for an action figure unboxing. And this week we have one from the AEW Jazwares Unmatched collection. And the great thing about this is I actually got this at a very good price, despite it being newer, because while it is from ringsidecollectibles.com, who do charge quite a premium on shipping, I was able to get this through the Walmart app, so you get, you get the trusted source of Ringside Collectibles, a slight discount on the shipping, especially if you have a Walmart Plus membership, and you get the security of the Ringside Collectibles shipping box, which I really appreciate. So without further ado, let's get into this unboxing, and we're looking at an action figure I have been looking forward to for quite some time. Switchblade Jay White in the Unmatched collection from Jazwares. The way I do these reviews is I use a 3A system. That is, we talk about the appearance, we talk about the articulation, and we talk about the accessories. And they're graded on that criteria. So before we get into that, let's take a look at the packaging. This is standard AEW Jazwares packaging. You have the big window, AEW logos all over the place. A picture here on the side, name Jay White, and on the back we have with the simulated signature on the back, which is very cool, and a picture of Jay White and the other figures that come in this series. It looks like in this series we have the Retro Sting action figure. We have yet another Darby Allin action figure. I feel like they put out a new Darby Allin at least every other wave, if not every wave. The Jay White, Will Ospreay, that is what I'm definitely going to get in my collection. Brian Danielson with the eye patch. And then we have Sky Blue. So those are all the figures that came in this wave. I am not a mint on card collector, so let's get this thing open and get our hands on it. Now, Jay White is a very interesting character as far as my wrestling fandom goes, because when I first heard of him, it was when he was in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And right after his excursion, right after his time as a young lion, a trainee in the New Japan Pro Wrestling training system, and he came back, he was kind of presented as a big, muscular baby face, really kind of a boring character that I wasn't drawn to. And for me, I became a fan of his once Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and Hangman Page left New Japan to start AEW, and he took over leadership of the Bullet Club. The attitude, the confidence, it all fell into place, leading to him getting the IWGP Heavyweight Champion and having what I thought was a very, very good run. And I think that during the time of his championship run, that New Japan was arguably in a better place than it is right now, arguably from my opinion. But that was back when it still had Okada on the books and a lot of other guys who have since moved on from New Japan to various places. And we have the plastic here. And one thing I do appreciate about Jazwares is an issue I had with some of the earlier figures is with the soft goods accessories, you'll get staining on the actual action figure. And so what they did to resolve the staining issue is they put plastic in between the soft goods and the plastic. But I will say that Jazwares customer service is very, very good. The first experience I had with them, It was I had standing on my Jake Hager action figure. And I bought it from Walmart. I had the receipt and everything. So I called up Jazwares, not Walmart, but Jazwares. I explained the situation. They sent me a new torso and head for the action figure just upon me showing my receipt. And I thought that was a very, very, you know, to me, that always, that was a very good first impression of their customer service. And it's, why I trust Jazwares, be it this line, their UFC lines, the Call of Duty action figures. I know that when I'm dealing with Jazwares, that I am dealing with a company that stands behind their product. Started trying to get this plastic off of the torso here. Here we go. Pop the head back on. Now this jacket, I'm going to get into accessories a little bit later, but I am a big fan of this jacket because it is supposed to be a leather jacket. It somewhat feels like leather, and it has that cool factor to it. I've seen other jackets, just as an example, the jacket that came with Finn Balor's Elite action figure a few years ago. It was a hard plastic that didn't look like leather. It didn't feel or move like leather. It didn't move at all. And it was really a hindrance to enjoying the action figure, and getting the actual jacket on and off was a bit frustrating and kind of a pain. So let's take a look at this, starting with appearance. We have two heads here. And, okay, one thing I'm noticing right off here. Let's see if it affects both heads. Nope, only the one. Now, this is the head that comes with the actual action figure, the face here. Let's get that in focus. And you can see that the coloration on the beard, especially where it connects to the mustache, is off. It is a little sloppy. I am not a fan of that. The head scan is great. It looks like him, but that facial hair is a little bit off. If we look at the alternate head, it does not have that problem at all. Yeah, look at that. The paint's pretty much perfect on the face and the facial hair. But on this head that comes with it, it's just bad paint work. But only if you look at it very up close, and if you are a meticulous nerd like myself, will that be an issue for you. But at a distance, it's definitely Jay White. It has his swagger, his cocky demeanor. And then the jacket, again, we talked about that. It has a real leather feel. And so you have that cool factor. And then when you look at the back here, we have the Switchblade logo. And then on the bottom, it says Switchblade Era. Very, very cool accessory. Now let's hit this remove so we can take a look at the rest of it. Yeah, as far as the actual body mold goes, I think that it is a little small. The torso, maybe. But maybe not. But it is still a good sculpt, though. In the pants, we have the black pants, the Switchblade logo throughout. And then on the knee pads, the right knee pad, we have his logo. And then on the left knee pad, we have BC Era. BC referring to the Bullet Club. Now, since a recent development that you may or may not know, depending on how close you follow New Japan Pro Wrestling, we'll get a look at the boots here. They say Switchblade on the side on the right boot. But at the New Year's Eve big show they did in New Japan, the Bullet Club seems to have been dissolved. One of the biggest stables, arguably the stable that spawned all Elite Wrestling. The Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Page departing from New Japan, but their lineage goes all the way back to when Prince Devitt, aka Fergal Devitt, or as many of you will know him now as Finn Balor, when he started the Bullet Club with Carl Anderson and Tama Tonga, who is also now in the WWE. So they started it, and after Finn Balor went to WWE, I believe it may have been AJ Styles who took the leadership role in the Bullet Club, and he was a leader. I think he was the leader of the Bullet Club when Kenny Omega came in. And when he left for WWE, Kenny Omega became the leader of the Bullet Club faction. And they had a storyline with him and Cody kind of tussling internally for the Bullet Club leadership role, which was a very compelling storyline. Probably one of the, as far as a foreign fan, for me it was the most engaging New Japan storyline that I was personally into because it involved two characters I was familiar with, who I could relate to. And, they not only ran the story in New Japan, but a lot on the Young Bucks YouTube show being the Elite, and even on the network that New Japan was syndicated on, I think, Access. They had a lot of information on that storyline on Access. And they even had Cody Rhodes in the Bullet Club hosting, different things for Access TV, which was very rare at the time. I think why I really got into the Bullet Club, because traditionally, New Japan Pro Wrestling does not do American sports entertainment style wrestling. They present it as a sport, and they leave a lot of the external drama out of the product. But with the Bullet Club, they brought in the bad guy tactics and the drama of the American wrestling scene, and in a way, being a bad guy faction, that made them not just bad guys in storyline, but really they went against the grain of New Japan culture. And so they were doubly bad guys because they were taking what was a sports presentation product and adding in American nonsense, so to say. And so I think that's why Bullet Club really appealed to me and a lot of Western wrestling fans. And after Jay White left for AEW, he actually started a Bullet Club adjacent faction called the Bang Bang Gang with Austin and what is his name? Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn. And Juice Robinson as well, who is also currently in AEW. And they changed their name to the Bang Bang Gang, I think because they were going by Bullet Club Gold at first, but I think because New Japan owned the rights to a Bullet Club gang, they want something that they could take ownership themselves. Hence the Bang Bang Gang, the stable that now includes not just the Gunn brothers, but Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Ace Austin, who was a Bullet Club member associated with a tag team in Impact Wrestling, now TNA Wrestling, where Jay White worked part-time when he was with New Japan. So it's a whole wide world coming together from New Japan to America to AEW. And so while the original Bullet Club no longer exists, we still have the Bang Bang Gang in AEW with some of the members of the mothership faction. That's enough of my nerd talk about Bullet Club. Let's get back to this. So we talked about appearance. I give the appearance A minus to a B plus because of the issues with the paint on the facial hair. Now we're going to talk about articulation. There are no surprises here. So we're going to go through this quickly because it's standard Jazwares articulation. We have the ball jointed head, arms you go round and round, up and down. There's a cut in the bicep for horizontal movement. Pinned, double jointed elbows. The hands actually are removable, so you can exchange hands and they go round and round and back and forth. You see they switch out pretty easily there. And the torso is on a rocker with a lot of motion. With a lot of bulkier figures, you don't get this much motion off of that upper torso. But this has an incredible range of motion. The hips go slightly side to side, not all the way around like you would with a Mattel WWE action figure. Ball jointed legs. We have a horizontal cut on the upper thigh, pinned double jointed knees with the very flexible rubber knee pads that don't hinder the movement too much. I like the Jazwares has switched to a lighter rubber for the knee pads so we can get full use of those double jointed pinned knees. And the knee pads obscure the pins in the double joint, so you get that much more realism. We have a horizontal cut in the upper calf here, right above the boot for side to side motion. The legs, the feet go back and forth, side to side slightly, and that is their articulation. I give it an A. Everything works very well. We have no sticking parts, no loose joints. Big fan of that. Now let's talk about the accessories. Though this is sparse, on accessories we have two hands and a jacket. That's it. To me, the accessories are an A plus for the jacket alone. So let's talk about the hands. It comes with two gripping hands right here. No fist. Actually, no, I was wrong. It comes with a gripping hand and one fist. And then we have kind of the switchblade or hang loose hand. And we have the gun motion that you see with the Gun Brothers as kind of a tribute to the Bang Bang Gang faction. And then we have the leather jacket, which is why I'm giving this an A+. It has the texture and feel of real leather. The inside is a little bit softer fabric. It feels like a leather or faux leather jacket. And the way that the logo is on the back is embossed inside there, so it's not, it looks like one fluid piece. I mean, if you wanted to blow this up as is and make it human size, this would be a high-end jacket. I'm telling you, this accessory alone, even with the facial hair issue, I'm gonna give the figure an A+. I'm giving it an A+ because of this jacket did a lot of the heavy lifting. So Jay White, Switchblade, action figures, get it. You can go to Ringside Collectibles. Still, I said that Walmart has its plus. Pluses, Ringside does as well. You get to see what they have in stock first and foremost, the newest stuff. And they have a damaged packaging section where you can get tremendous discounts on action figures. And you can always find discount codes. If you go watch Carl Peterson's YouTube channel, I highly suggest you check it out. It's a huge channel. He does a lot of the same stuff I do, but he does it, frankly, a lot better. And he has promo codes he gives out at the end of every video. So go check out Kyle Peterson's YouTube channels for the latest in action figure reviews, news, and while my channel, I try to curate it for somebody in my tax bracket. I am a man that lives off of a disability paycheck, so I want to show you how to collect on a budget. And so the things that you see here are going to be things that you can afford very easily. But Kyle, he buys and reviews everything. And if there is an action figure that you're kind of iffy on and it's a little bit pricier and you want to see it outside of the box, chances are Kyle is going to have it on his page. So check him out, get those discounts. And please, if you're not subscribe to my channel, like the video, share the video, and let me know what you guys think of the action figure in the comments down below. And a little postscript here. Here is how Jay White looks amongst the Gun Brothers and the Bang Bang Gang. We have all three action figures here. That iconic pose, look at that. So you can see how he measures up against the rest of the group. All I got to do is get Juice Robinson now. So I'm waiting for the price to drop. I don't know if you are a rich viewer that wants to send me a Juice Robinson action figure. Hey, hook your boy up. No, I'm kidding. We're going to be getting Juice Robinson added to the collection very soon. So again, I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep buying the action figures. And oh yeah, guns up.